Yeah. 2024 Ferrari Purosangue review. Why it's worth $400,000.
This is our first press car from Ferrari. You know they're never going to give us a press car ever again, right?
Why?
You don't know that. And then the guys that did the UI were finger popping each other's assholes. Because this is a complete and utter disaster. From top to bottom, this is the worst designed user interface and interior I have ever experienced, probably ever made in the car world in human history.
Where's my phone? I have a reminders list of places I want to visit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to take Maranello off.
You take Maranello, yeah, because we should never go there. After I'm
No, we're not going to be allowed there.
Yeah, that's what I meant, because I'm not even done. So they said that we could drive it.
I've got the key and everything.
Is this a trap?
Feels like one. Feels like one. Those suicide doors, they're not homicide doors, are they?
You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And that is the sound of the brand new Ferrari Purosangue. Purosangue, meaning pure blood. Probably named by a Slytherin, it's Ferrari's new V12 Chamber of Secrets. Except there are no secrets. The technical press release is as long as War and Peace, which will have a very special Hollywood guest help decipher later. But for now, all you need to know is this. Today, we find out what happens when Ferrari puts its foot in the ring of super SUVs. And we discover whether this is worth twice the price of SUVs like the Urus in the Cayenne Turbo GT. Because at $400,000, you're probably asking, perché? Which is Italian, for why the flipping heck is it so expensive? Well, today you'll find out. But before that, you should probably just listen to it.
Launch. Oh, it dropped. V12. That's 3.3 seconds to 60. And thank Zeus, Carl Sagan, God, whoever you need to thank. Because this has a great big, naturally aspirated V12. 715 horsepower and a 6.5 litre displacement number. It has absurd amount of torque down low, so there's no daily drivability lost, and it sings all the way to 8,250 RPM. Just like the GTC Lusso that came before it. Glorious. Oh, and the transmission, manual. Okay, Okay, alright, you know what? That wasn't fair, okay? I'm sorry. That was a tease from a different video that we filmed on this same trip of a very cool car. I just needed an excuse to show off my Pelote shoes. It's thanks to Pelote, who sponsored this video, that we are able to do this. The whole reason we're in Europe is thanks to them. And because these are the shift shoes, you can still use them in conjunction with Ferrari's rapid 8-speed column-mounted DCT in the Purosangue. And if you think I'm getting too cheeky about this, you're right. So, more about Pelote at the end. It's so novel to experience this in an SUV. Lambo should have done this. They should have done an LM002 style thing with the Urus and given it some great big naturally aspirated V12. An engine alone can make a car special. So that's all this ever had to have, was a special engine. Oh, it is fast! That is fast! It's not light. It's still 4,800 odd pounds. But it hustles.
Voilà. There we go.
And it bangs off the rev limiter. It also has a lot more stuff going on. The suspension, for example. It's got like, it's complicated. The suspension is complicated.
Yeah, it's very simple. The Purosangue suspension uses high power density 3-phase brushless electric motors that can transmit force in a novel way via a twin lead ball screw connected directly to the hydraulic damper piston rod, which enables high frequency response and reduces friction, inertia, and package space. This interfaces with the side slip control SSC 8.0 and the 6W-CDS sensor. Feel stupid yet? You're supposed to. You see, Ferrari like to use incredibly complex language to explain their suspension systems to make you think that no one can do what they do. So to simplify it, here's Hollywood darling Margot Robbie in a pool in Italy to explain.
Hey. Definitely Margot Robbie here. So basically, Ferrari are using a next-level suspension technology. This isn't the air springs or the adaptive dampers we're used to. This is proper active suspension, kind of like that Bose suspension we saw all those years ago in that viral video. Thank you, Giles. Ferrari have paired a powerful electric motor with what's called a spool valve damper and combined them into a single unit. Altogether, this generates enough force that they can actually lift the entire body of the car, and incredibly quickly. That results in a few game-changing things. The biggest? The Purosangue doesn't require anti-roll bars, so it doesn't even have any. That, and it can keep the car perfectly planted in the corners without compromising the ride. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Good. Now f*** off.
Okay, I'm sorry for that, everyone. I don't know how I let him talk me into that. He's just always wanted to wear a bikini, I guess, so. The suspension is quite sophisticated, and it is quite good. The interesting thing about it, though, is that it doesn't feel like something special is happening. It just feels like I'm driving a car. The ride isn't insanely supple. It's good, but there is no side-to-side motions because there's no sway bars. And when you have it in sport mode, it is ridiculously flat in the corners. Turn-in from the front is so sharp. And since this is a transaxle, the weight distribution is excellent. There's no sense of mass in the way that the car moves its weight around. From side to side, front to back, there's hardly any motion to it. But then the ride isn't bad. It's really good. The only time you feel the mass is on the brake pedal, because it just doesn't quite scrub off the speed the way that you'd want it to. And when you get any bit of slip, that's when you start to feel that it is over 4,000 pounds. There's no hiding it. There's nothing you can do. Because physics exists. And what that means is that the Ferrari Pure Sangue has the ability with the suspension to do I don't have anything to say, actually. Basically, what's happened is that the Ferrari is overheated, so I had to pull over. The air conditioning turned off, and it gave me a warning on the dashboard. So yeah, it's, to be fair, it is completely out of its comfort zone here in the hills above Maranello where it's made in the summer. Yeah. All right, back on the road. Temperature's looking good.
Hold on.
Downshift into first for the hairpin, up the hills. Here's the problem. I hate Ferrari.
Right.
Most of the time. Okay, let me explain. Ferrari, the company, as many of you know, what's the word? It's like a weird cult, almost. Did you know that when you go to the Ferrari factory, you have to wear pants, you can't wear shorts for a multitude of reasons that I don't really understand? And you're left with kind of a weird taste in your mouth. What is this brand? What's it about? Why do they think that their don't stink so much? And sometimes it's to their detriment. They can never admit when they're wrong. Look at Formula One. But when you get in one of these stupid cars and you drive it up the hills above Maranello, even this SUV, you start to understand. The cars are so good. They're chassis masters. Even though the steering in this, in my opinion, is a little bit too light, it's still so sharp. And the car feels alive all the time. The combination of the engine and the transmission and the weight distribution. It's just so good. Oh, and the engine is overheated again and the air conditioning is turned off. So I'm gonna go back and talk to James. Okay. This is my car.
I'm a sucker for a blue car.
On pain of death, I've been told to call this a car, not an SUV.
Yes, well, it is still an SUV.
In it, yeah.
Because it's still 4x4. It has a bunch of utility.
Yes.
It's only 3 centimeters shorter in the roofline than an Urus.
Yes, and it's significantly taller than a GTC4 Lusso.
I think that does make it the lowest super SUV. So there you go.
Okay.
It's an L SUV. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But the car itself is not an L. It's a bit of a dub.
Is that lost in a wind? Is that what you're doing there?
Yeah, because
I explained it for you. I understood it.
There's this new thing called Instagram, and I've had a look at the comments, and it's just like...
Okay, anyway, everyone has said that this looks like a Mazda MX-30?
MX-30, from the profile.
And you know what? It does.
It's not the best comparison from Mazda to Ferrari.
No.
I think it looks like the Toyota Crown SUV, especially the front with the lights. And it looks so similar that someone copied someone's homework.
Yes, it looks exactly like the Crown if you took a photo of the Crown with a wide-angle lens.
I would just match the colors. I haven't seen them matched, but that's what it looks like. It's good looking.
It is good looking. I don't have a problem with it.
But normally when we're standing on the side of a mountain and we've just driven a Ferrari, we stand back and go, oh.
What's up?
You know, the 296, we were like, oh, there's a bit of Ford GT there.
Is that what I was driving?
Yeah. This is just pretty.
It might be because it's an SUV.
It's a